Hello and welcome along to this week's UFC 316 Dvalishvili versus O'Malley picks and predictions breakdown, where we will be breaking down the weekend's main card in its entirety, giving our picks and predictions. I'm Jordan from Smash MMA. I'm joined by Silk Pyjamas co-founder and co-creator, Mr. JPL Hooper. What's happening, JP? How you doing?
What's happening, mate? That's a very Davina McCall-esque introduction there, son. You've been practicing, haven't you? It was good. Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good. I'm starting to get back into some fitness routine the last couple of weeks, so feeling the benefit of it finally. I just put on like 5 pounds since holiday, and 5 pounds, about 5 kilos since holiday. So I'm trying to like trim the fat a bit.
I'm not exactly the same vibe at the moment, as I'm sure you and many others will have seen from my Instagram. I'm actually attacking the Birmingham Black Country Half Marathon in just under 5 weeks. So I've been getting my feet on the tarmac, and every day I ache.
Oh,
every
mate,
day I ache.
I did sponsor you for that. Because we haven't really been paying our dues for the the bets, the picks, the charity picks. We haven't been pulling our weight, so I sent you a 20, I think.
You did, and thank you very much. We're doing quite well so far. We're at £570, which is just absolutely amazing. But I'm trying and get towards that £1,000 mark. It's for a lovely little charity based in Wolverhampton that focuses on helping disabled children. That put on events for like craft days and stuff like that, just to sort of give the kids something to do, give the parents a little bit of a break. It's a lovely little charity. So if you haven't seen it, have a little look over on my Instagram page and all the details and stuff are there.
Oh, good for you, mate. Top man. Are you going to go for a time or anything, or
if I can get under 2.5 hours, I'll be happy.
But 2.5 hours? Oh, you'll be all right with that, surely.
I should smash that. But I'm trying to keep the expectations low. Under promise, over deliver is my main plan.
And how often are you getting out?
3 days a week. So Wednesdays, Fridays, we do a 5K, and on a Sunday, we're doing a 10K, which steadily as the weeks go on, we're adding a few more kilometres on every week. So far, so good.
Good lad. Well done. Well done. Yeah, let's get into it, man.
Let's get into it. So, kicking the main card off, and we've got Vicente Luque facing someone who I feel like we've spoken about nearly every week at this point, Kevin Holland. And this is a much better fight for Holland back at welterweight. He didn't look too bad last time out. What are you thinking about this one?
He's just so inconsistent and unpredictable, Kevin Holland. He's just somebody I could never, ever place money on and feel comfortable about it. So he's already out of the equation from a betting standard for me. And I like to bet the underdogs. And Vicente Luque, this is kind of like a no bet fight for me because he had brain bleed, right? And he's still fighting. So I feel nervous for him. So God knows how he feels when he steps inside the octagon. So I really don't know with it. It's going to be a fun fight, I hope. And Vicente Luque, everybody knows who he is. He's seemingly been around forever. But his price is quite. He's smart, isn't he? And like Kevin Holland, if he has like a bad day, if he's in a bad mood, he never kind of performs well. But saying that, Kevin Holland did look good in his last fight, and he won in London as well. So I have no idea for this fight, to be honest, but I'm happy it's on this card, and I'm going to watch it for sure.
I think it's the perfect opening card fight because, like you've just said, both of these boys have a real weird inconsistency towards them. Like 1 minute, I mean, I'm sat here and I'm scrolling through both fighters' records, and you've got Vicente Luque. He's got wins over Tyron Woodley, RDA, but then we've got losses to Jeff Neal. I mean, a loss to Bilal isn't a bad loss.
No,
it's so inconsistent.
Buckley as well. He lost to Buckley. Yeah. It's not a bad loss either.
He lost to Buckley. Not a bad loss. So his losses don't look too bad. I mean, but Kevin Holland's the same. You've got, he's got losses to Derrida, not looking too bad now. Delidze, Michael Page, Madalena. These are all high-level guys.
Yeah.
And he's got some good wins. it depends which of either of these two I think turn up, but it's the perfect opener. Just we know we're going to get a good scratch, don't we?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if you do watch MMA Guru, right? And he seems to have hit the nail on the head with Kevin Holland, like he does with so many things. He's got a really good objective view on the sport, and it does seem like Kevin Holland could be an incredible fighter and take it to the next level. But it seems like he's already got his excuses lined up. Just I'm not trying. I'll come in. I'll take my 200 grand a fight. If I win, amazing. If I lose, so what? I don't care. And he doesn't really want to make that championship run and ever get to a standard where he can fight for the belt. But saying that, he does seem like he has a lot of potential. And then he surprises you, and he knocks dudes out in the first round, or takes like Gunnar Nelson to a decision and wins kind of unanimously. So he's so unpredictable, and that's why I'm just gonna enjoy this spectacle and not have a bet
Yeah.
on it.
I think that's the best way to look at this fight. Like exactly what you've said. I mean, one thing that I think about Holland, it does get me curious, is I think his attitude of I'll take every fight, I'll fight 5 times a year, is that actually damaging him? If he slowed down a little bit and spent more time in the gym than he did in the cage, would he be able to realize that potential, or would he? Do you know what I mean? Because I mean, he's fought 3. This is his 3rd fight in 2025, and we're in June. Last year he fought 4 times. 2023 was another 3. 22, you've got 5. Well, and I know they all like to stay active, but is that what hinders Holland? The over competitiveness? I don't know.
He's collecting those checks, isn't he? And
That's the thing.
he's a prize fighter by the exact by the exact definition of it. And he just wants to make money, and like all fairness to him, he deserves every penny he gets just for stepping into the octagon like any fighter does. But the IQ and he's a madman, and that's what makes him so much fun to watch. But if we're talking about picks, I could never touch him, because as soon as you do pick him, he's gonna like lose the fight easily and say he had an injury, but he just wanted that 200 grand.
Yeah. At least though in this one, he is at welterweight, and I think he looks a lot better at welterweight than he does at middleweight.
Yeah. Well, he's long, rangy. He just looks like an awkward fighter, and his punches and his striking it hurt people. And I think he will probably beat Vicente Luque. He's a little bit short for me, even if I did want to bet him, because Vicente Luque, I can't believe Vicente Luque's got 10 losses on his record. That's quite surprising.
Oh,
yeah, but let's see anyway. No bet for me, sorry.
There we go.
Gun to my head, I'll pick Holland. Why not?
Yes, I think I agree with you, to be honest. If someone put a gun to my head, that's what I'd probably go for. Now, we've got another fight that's very, very close. Next up, Mario Batista, at this point in time, known for boring us to death in a split decision against Jose Aldo in recent times, taking on, and this is super interesting. So we've got Batista facing Pyjamas. Pyjamas, by many considered the best bantamweight outside of the UFC. It's been talked about for a while what will happen if he comes. He's now there. It's not like we're getting a guy past his prime either. He's 31. This is where we find out, I think, if the levels to this game, and this could be a fight where we find that out. What are your thoughts on this one? Where do you think Pyjamas is going to put this to bed early and prove to everyone that he should be in that conversation, or is it going to be a big step up for him?
I hope it's not a big step up for him. I want him to annihilate Mario Bautista for what he did to Jose Aldo.
Yeah. Everyone's thinking the same thing.
I know. I mean, it was a travesty that the judges gave it to Bautista. The one threat that he does have is if he gets you up against the cage and knees your thighs a little bit, That is a dangerous weapon, Mario Bautista. has. So Patchy got to watch out for that. But in all honesty, I didn't know who Patchy was. I don't know. I don't know which bracket of fan you could put me in. If you like, I watch the UFC, and now and again I watch like Paul Hughes, or if somebody tells me about a fighter that's fighting in a different promotion, I'll watch that. I never knew about Patchy until this week, really. So I did a little bit of homework on him, and he does look incredibly uh, good and talented, and like an all rounder. Um, the fight that impressed me was his split decision win over Magomedov in Bellator,
Yeah.
which looked like a tough fight. It didn't look like it had any cardio issues, which Bautista against Jose Aldo in only a 3 rounder looked like he was doing whatever he could to survive. So I think like Patchy here is like a pretty good price, just going off a few fights I watched from him. And even if Bautista has the grappling edge, it doesn't look it's going to be that big of an edge against Patchy from what I've seen. You know, he held a Russian off. I'm sure he can hold Mario Bautista off.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Patchy Mix's jiu-jitsu is very, very, very good. I will say that he's a fantastic grappler. He, like you say, I mean, Magomedov's one of the other guys that a lot of people talk about as being one of the better bantamweights away from the UFC. 2 wins over him is a pretty big deal. I think with Batista's advantage, well, his strength really in this is like you say, is the grappling and the what he can do if he can get in control against the cage, similar to what he did with Jose Aldo. But he's not going to be able to do to Patchy Mix what he did to Aldo. I think if he tries to lean on the grappling too much, it might be a tough night for him. I personally think this is going to be a coming of age for Patchy Mix. I think he could go out there and really make a statement in this one. But it's tough in it because you see a lot of guys that move over from into the UFC, and some people, like for example, Rainier de Riddle recently looked really good, and then you get other guys who come over and it's just a step too far. But I think Patrick's going to do this. I think the money's odds wise. I don't think it's not a big number, but I don't think it's bad value for someone
Mm.
that's got that sort of away from the UFC pedigree. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's a champion, so and he looks like the type of dude that has that kind of championship swagger. I don't think the bright lights of the UFC are going to affect him too much. He's fought in stadiums, you know. It's kind of like MVP when he came over, just had no effect on him whatsoever. He was there to entertain, you know. He's made a few quid, and now he wants the stardom of the UFC. This is quite a similar transition to me. That's where it kind of feels like. And I think you would expect Mario Bautista to have like a grappling edge, but a striking edge, I don't think there's any question on who that goes to. So I agree with you. I think it's a good price, and I think if we were going to have a charity bet this week, that would that would be my pick. It's the best bet I can see on the card.
Definitely, I agree with that completely. I agree with that completely.
I think you've got like a point to prove as well when you come to the UFC, you know. So it could work against you, like if you get affected by the bright lights, but it could work for you if you want to make a, like you say, like a statement, come in here, guns blazing, and get some revenge for Jose.
Well, I think that you've got the Aldo element of things, and plus, like you say, like one of the things that I think a lot of guys away from the UFC get is it doesn't matter how well you do, that question mark's always there. Can you do it at the highest level? Can you do it in the UFC? And it's always like a caveat against someone like Patchy Mix. You look at 20-1, 3-time world champion, but it's 3-time Bellator champion. Do you know what I mean? So, and that, like you say, his persona and the confidence that he seems to exude, he's got to want to prove that he can hang. And he's going to want to make it up for all of us who were pissed off at Batista for basically ruining Jose Aldo. So I'm with you. Patchy Mix for me too.
Yeah, and I think if he was going in and fighting Jose Aldo instead of Mario Bautista, then maybe you're going to look across the octagon and it's going to be a legend like Jose. Then maybe the nerves are going to kick in. Could you really see him being worried about Bautista? I don't think so. So I think he's a good bet.
Yeah, good bet, good bet. Next up, and we've got a fight that was, I'm sure, was this meant to happen a few months ago? And he pulled out because of, I'm sure it was Pfeiffer got weirdly ill in Mexico, didn't he? Because he was
Yeah,
now refusing to fight again. So we've got Calvin Gastelum, Joe Pfeiffer. Personally, now you'll remember in the first, well, when they were supposed to fight before, I was big on Calvin Gastelum, and I- I'm still leaning in the same way, but I'm just hoping, and I think the value of the bet draws me in a little bit. Gastelum's a little bit of an underdog, but if we get the right Kelvin Gastelum, this could be a big, big night for him. But Pfeiffer's good, man, and he's got them hands. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, he looks like a serious contender, just physically, like Pfeiffer. He's got
Yeah.
that slim, rangy, kind of athletic look, and the pale Viking beard, like skin to go with it. He looks like an absolute warrior. Um, but you've seen Jack Manson just kind of get the better of him. It was quite a close fight, but he seemed to win the close rounds, and got the decision at the end. And he got a takedown in the last round, and that kind of sealed it. But saying that, like Gastelum hasn't fought for a year. I'm not saying
True.
he's gonna be like that. Inactivity is like his fault. He's had like a cancelled fight, but only one. That was supposed to be Joe Pfeiffer in Mexico, and I think they actually weighed in um, for that Mexican card, and Gastelum just looked like a fridge. That's just he has got a gas tank. It's not 5 rounds, so I think he should be able to handle three. But I can also see Gaslam just getting kind of pieced up, but still being there because he's tough as old boots, isn't he? He doesn't get knocked out. And I'm not sure if you had a look at Gaslam's resume. He's fought some killers, and also there's been some cancelled bouts, which would have been killers as well. He was supposed to fight like Nasruddin Imavov,
Yep.
Dricus Du Plessis. But he's been in there with everybody. Whitaker is Izzy obviously, Bisping, um, Chris Weidman. He's
Well,
been
that's
in
what's
there.
mad, isn't it?
He's been in
But
there with every like UFC legends. So this will be like a big scalp for Joe Pyfer if he could pull it off. But there's going to be a moment where Gaslam rocks him, and I think what happens then? Because it looked like when Joe Pyfer got punched in the nose a few times, you could see he ran out of ideas. He didn't know. He was expecting to knock a Manson out in round one, I imagine, and he's come back and won since then. So it's an interesting fight. I just wish Gastelum was a little bit younger and a little bit more in his prime. I'm not saying he's washed at all, but he's one-dimensional. He doesn't seem to use his wrestling as much as like he could. I think that's because, quite frankly, he's like quite lazy and he just prefers striking. Maybe he likes these fun battles. Um, yeah, it's a tough one to pick. Like Joe Pyfer, he's like 3's on favorite, which is short, to be fair. So this is like another no bet for me. I don't see any. Well, do I see value in Gastelum? Why not? Why not? Have a bet on Gastelum. Come on, Cal.
it's weird, isn't it? Because like you look at Kelvin Gastelum, and he generally looks, on the most part, he looks pretty out of shape. He's got history with really struggling to make weight, and I think it's frustrating to me with Gastelum because I think if he'd got his head in the game with his size, he should probably be fighting at least welterweight. Most likely, like you could even, if he lost a bit of weight, he could probably get down to lightweight. I mean,
Mm.
he's 5'9". But I think the lack of sort of work rate has sort of caused that. And that's why I think he's good enough, but he's fighting at a much higher weight than he probably should be. And then you look at his record, which 19-9 doesn't sound particularly that great. But then you think like his last loss was to Sean Brady. Before that, he was probably going to get a shot at the belt. The loss before that was Cannonier, again top tier guy. Then you've got a loss to Robert Whittaker, former champ. Submission loss to Hermanson. He's lost to Darren Till, who
Darren Till, yeah.
again top tier.
That was a
fight
close
with
fight,
Adesanya
actually.
is one of the brilliant
That Darren
fight.
Till, it was, I think it was a split decision. Like,
Split decision.
you could have made a really big argument for Kelvin Gastelum to win that
He
fight.
could.
Mm.
And then you've got that Adesanya fight. It was one of the best fights I've ever watched. It was a brilliant fight. And this is again at the weight above what he should really be at.
Yeah, he had that war with Adesanya and then the most boring fight ever against Darren Till. But he could have arguably won that fight. Keep going, because there's killers on there.
And then you've got like Jacare Souza win. He beat Bisping, knocked him out in the first round. Yeah, he's lost to Weidman, another former champ. And then you've got names like Tim Kennedy from the past. You've got a win over Johnny Hendricks. A loss to Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really weird because the record sounds not that good, but then when you go through the names, there's like 4 or 5 former champions. You can argue with Adesanya, one of the best, if not the best, middleweight. It's in that conversation for sure. Whittaker, another one in that chat. So I don't know. I do think that you're not going to get the best Gastelum, even though he's still only 33. He's fought all these guys, and he's still only 33. So I'd love to see him roll back the years. I don't think he's going to be coming in the best shape in the world, probably. He's probably not going to be that arsed, but he's got the ability doesn't go away. So, the odds are luring me in a little bit more sort of wallet overhead, but I think I'm going to go for a cheeky Gastelum upsetting this one, I think.
He's got that dog in him, hasn't he? You just know it's in there. He ain't going to give up. And I know, I do some running as well. And when I get to the start line for like a half marathon or wherever, and I haven't trained hard enough, I have instant regret that I wish I put a bit more effort in. I bet you that's how Kelvin Gastelum feels like 5 minutes into every fight, because he does have the talent and he does have the dog in him, which like a lot of fighters would kill for, so in his year off, I bet he wished he did a few more runs to get himself in shape rather than come in looking like a fridge. So let's see. I like that bet. Why not?
Little cheeky one. Now we're moving into, I'd say this one is a far less difficult fight to pick. So we've got the co-main event, the champ Juliana Pena facing, I don't even know, Kayla Harrison. Just look, I'm looking at a picture of her now, and she's like the henchiest woman I think of MMA fighter I think I've seen. She's giant.
Yeah, she's released some photos today about no time for sightseeing, straight to work, landed in Newark, and she looks absolutely ripped, man. Juliana Pena could talk you into betting her. She's so confident. But
she's good as well. She's good.
Is she? Yeah. Well,
she beat Nunes.
She did, but
she didn't lose the rematch, but she's got to win over Nunes. You know what I mean?
Yes, which is impressive, but
she won the belt off of
what
Raquel
kind
Pennington,
of Nunes was that? That was a baffling performance. An amazing fight to watch. Oh my God, it's like one of the best fights I've ever seen. Not even in WMMA, just like altogether. That was an amazing fight because nobody could predict that. It was just another lamb to the slaughter. But she pulled her out of the bag, and she took it to 5 rounds in the rematch. So that's not something to be sniffed at. But Kayla Harrison, she's only had a few fights in the UFC, right? Heavy wrestler.
This is her 4th, 3rd.
You just know it's going to be a boring fight. But who knows? Who knows?
I think that the most interesting part about this fight for me personally is that if Kayla gets the win, which on the most part, like me and you both know that this is going to be the most part of 5 rounds of Harrison on top of Pena.
Yeah,
and it's probably going to go that way. But if that's the way it does go, then Nunes has said that she's interested in coming back for a Kayla Harrison Nunes fight. And that makes things a little bit more interesting for me because we know Nunes is, probably the GOAT of women's, well, in the conversation for the GOAT of women's MMA. I'll never forget watching Nunes beat Cyborg. That was one of the most surprising. It shouldn't be a surprise. And looking back at it now, it's not a surprise. But at the time, Chris Cyborg was like the fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
And Nunes just came out didn't give a fuck and just smashed her up.
She looked like a different weight class as well, Cyborg. Well, Nunes did compared to Cyborg, like a lower weight class. Yeah. That was another good fight because I think it was done in round 1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think Cyborg like touched her once and then just pissed her off, hit her in punches and bunches, and dropped her. Yeah, so that would be good if Kayla Harrison wins. At least you could have that to look forward to, and it'd be something exciting for women's MMA. So, man, I would love Juliana Pena to just do it and then call out Amanda Nunes again.
It'd be great to see if Kayla was to say control 4 rounds of the fight, be on top, be in Pena's guard, and you somehow manage to get on bar or get a little triangle. I think that's probably, for me, the route that she could get a win. But
yeah.
I'm still like clutching at straws a little bit. But this MMA, anything can happen.
Yeah. This is not one I'm looking forward to be honest, but it's got to happen at some point, so you have to watch it. But the main event is, let's just skip on to that.
Yeah, let's get, oh man. And this is this for me, it kind of makes the last few weeks of shit worthy. So we've got Merab Dvalishvili, who everyone's talking already about him being the best bantamweight ever. And then we've got probably the best, to be fair, Merab's pretty funny, but on the whole, the best all-round package bantamweight. Sean O'Malley, huge following on social media. Very talented striker, exciting to watch. I can't wait. I can't wait for this one. I'm buzzing. Over the moon.
It's a new Sean O'Malley, right? It's sensible Sean.
Sensible Sean.
Yeah, not sugar Sean anymore. Sensible Sean. Apparently, he's given up all the drugs, all the weed, Instagram. He's no longer deaf scrolling through his DMs. You know, he's really got his head switched on for this one. So that's something to consider, because he does seem like such a talent and dedicated. He seemed dedicated anyway, but like now this might raise his level an extra 10%. So the earlier fight, the first fight that they had, it wasn't that much of a domination. I thought it was quite predictable, you know. It always is with Merab, apart from when he fought Nurmagomedov. So like he's only got to touch him once, you know, and it seemed like he kicked him in the 5th round and like caught his liver or caught his stomach or something, because he was he was running away for a good minute of that final round, and he just couldn't seem to like get in position in striking distance to really throw that like right hand. It could be different, but it could also be very much the same.
Yeah.
This one makes it so interesting, but I like he's 3-1 O'Malley. Oh, 2-1, sorry. Is he 3-1, 2-1, 3-1?
2-1.
I mean, 3-1 to go 25 minutes and not get hit by Sean O'Malley. It's kind of worth a bet, right?
The value is tempting. I dropped a post on Instagram a couple of days ago because I looked at it and I was like, I just think exactly what you just said. The first fight wasn't a whitewash by any stretch. It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, Merab, his wrestling was very good, but Sean defended quite a lot of takedowns. He did a little bit of damage when he was open. And then a few interesting things, and you can't. Sometimes you can take these things with a pinch of salt. But Sean was talking a couple of days back about how in the first fight he did little to no wrestling and grappling training, whereas in this camp he's been doing wrestling non-stop. And I think that if there's truth in that, which it's easy for him to just say this in hindsight, but if there is some truth in that, or if Sean can keep it on the feet and defend the takedowns and break away, he's got undoubted knockout power. He's got a quite significant reach advantage over Merab. And we've seen time and time again that pressure fighting wrestlers come in a bit too eager and get popped. And I really think that this could be the moment that we see that. I mean, like you say, we could get another Merab fight where we just see Merab shooting 42 takedowns, and when he finally gets one controlling it, and that's probably what's likely to happen. But if O'Malley has been working on his wrestling as much as he says he has, and he can, I mean, he's fought wrestlers and defended before. I mean, Aljamain Sterling, one of the best wrestlers in the bantamweight division in the last few years, and he managed to keep that skill up with a little bit more work on that part of his game. Can he apply that in this one? Because if it's a standard striking match with his striking ability and the distance, and he's very good at controlling his distance as well. O'Malley is. He knows how to use that long and rangy frame. If he can do that, I can see him getting a knockout. I don't think he's going to win on points. I think Merab's just the control of the cage and the pressure, and you know he's going to be throwing at least 4 or 5 takedowns a round, minimum. So I don't see O'Malley managing to point this. But if anyone's got a chance of knocking Merab out, I would pin all the hopes at bantamweight in O'Malley being the guy, and I think that's probably going to be one of my bets in the Aki this weekend. The value is good. It's an exciting bet because you're sort of waiting for that knockout. I think that the head says Merab, but the heart says, give me Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. Give me 4 rounds of Merab controlling the fight, and then Sugar Sean popping him out of nowhere and getting a KO. That's what I want from this. Give me that.
Yeah, well, I like from a betting perspective, you got to look at what's changed in since the previous fight, and like one of the main aspect is like Sean O'Malley. Did he do all the things he was doing in training? And you got to take it with a pinch of salt that he never trained any wrestling before the first fight. I find that hard to believe. But saying that, if he's quit, like I've already said it, but if he's quit everything, I think that is like quite a significant change. And when somebody's a champion, everybody expects that reign to continue. He is really good, Merab, and he did show improvements himself against Umar Nurmagomedov. So there's no reason why Merab can't improve as well. And I think he got like a lot of love after that Umar Nurmagomedov fight, because he was like, for once, he was entertaining and he was like showboating. He was showing off. He was like, he's quite a funny dude. I met him. I seen him at a conference and I like shook his hand. He is, well, it's hard to view to get perspective, but he's a midget. Like, he is so small, you know. He walked in the conference and the conference is busy and everybody was surrounded this area where Merab was going to walk into. Like, some people didn't know who he is, but it's like a UFC champion. So there was a crowd gather and he just like appeared out of nowhere because nobody could spot him coming through the crowd. It wasn't until like waves parted and he like walked through. He's tiny. So yeah, I don't know, man. I got a sneaky feeling about this one. I'm not going off feelings. That's probably not a good way to bet. But I think that, like, Sean O'Malley, what price is he in their first fight? I think it was close to even money.
It was close. The first fight was really close. I think Merab was a slight favourite, but not much.
Yeah, I think the price opened at even money, and Merab went favorite like closer to the start of the fight. Um,
So
yeah,
according to Tapology, in American money, Merab was a oh no, sorry, I'm on the wrong fault. O'Malley was a -125, so slight favourite to O'Malley, according to Tapology. So
Merab was -125. Okay, yeah, so that's 1.75 for decimals, but I think they opened up pretty much close to uh two each, even money. That's just off memory, but um yeah, I think why not? Why not? Is it in Newark? It's a bit of an odd place to have this one, isn't it?
yeah,
Considering like the
considering no
last
one's
one
from
was,
it now.
yeah, it was at UFC Notre, right? In the Sphere.
Yeah, he was in the Sphere, wasn't he? The last one.
Yeah, it did look amazing.
Oh, he looks so good.
But I think maybe like Merab will get a bit cocky,
That's the
probably add a
thing, isn't
couple
it?
of an extra zero to his fighter's fee, Maybe got some bonus for it as well. And maybe that'll be his downfall.
That's the.
You
I
do that to
agree.
O'Malley, he's just gonna step in and bang you.
Well, that's the thing, innit? If he tries like that, I mean, it was funny when he was like mocking Nurmagomedov, like blatantly just taking the piss out of him. But if he does do that at the wrong time, O'Malley's range and the timing, if he gets too cocky, he's probably gonna get flattened.
Yeah, yeah, and he's gonna have to step in to get these takedowns, and he doesn't really like hold them down either. He just puts them on the ground and backs away, or and he sees that as a point scoring
That's it.
technique to win the round. So in the first fight, they were kind of going like jab for jab in the first round. I remember, and I think actually Merab landed more punches than Sean O'Malley. And that
Yep.
first round ended up becoming important because I think O'Malley took at least 2 rounds off him. He definitely took the fifth round, and there was an argument for the fourth as well. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
all came down to that first round, really. So if he, I think it's an interesting fight. Like again, when this fight was announced, I wasn't happy. I didn't think like Merab's fought Umar Nurmagomedov, O'Malley fought nobody, and he gets a rematch for the title. It didn't seem like this fight was hyped, but now I'm all in, considering the load of shit that we've had the last few
That's
weeks.
what it's. That's what's happened. Like because I thought the same thing. I was like, why are we giving O'Malley another go? Like, why isn't he earning another go? But
Yeah.
you just like this. Maybe this was the plan. Maybe the plan was to starve us of good mixed martial arts, so that we'd get excited about this one. Maybe that could be it. But I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Could
I'm
be a
not
good
sure what
one.
the reasons are. There's been like rumors of like TV rights deals and stuff like this, but we have been spoon fed a load of shit recently. And I'm not sure if you stayed up to watch that Macy Barber and Blanchfield fight, but I stayed up till 5 a.m. for some stupid reason, and it's
I
fucked
I
up my whole
avoided it.
week.
I'm so glad that I didn't.
Oh, mate, I'm
Because
so jealous of you. Honestly, I was in such a bad mood on Sunday. Um, yeah, I knew I shouldn't have. Like, usually I set my alarm for like 3 a.m. I get up and watch like the last few fights, and that's not too bad. Um, but this one I stayed up because I wanted to watch a few of the early fights and paid the price. It was pretty shit. Not gonna lie.
It was one of them moments where, because I even messaged you in the day, didn't I? I was like, you gonna out for this? And you were like, yeah. And then I was like, I am. And then it got closer to the about 11 o'clock, and I was like, am I really? And when I
Yeah.
woke up, I was like, well done. Good decision made.
Mate, when that 11 o'clock, like in the morning, you're excited, and it gets to 11 o'clock, and I'm tired, and I'm just like, am I really going to do this? And then the first fight happens. It was all right, the first fight of the night. Um, like a Rayan dos Santos, was it? And I can't even remember who she was fighting. It was that bad, but they got a performance of the night bonus somehow. Jacoby was good, and I honestly couldn't tell you about the rest of the card. Oh, I watched the Gamrot fight. That was a pretty good fight, to be honest. But Gamrot's good. And apart from that, I couldn't tell you what happened. I was just kind of half on my phone, half watching it, just like punishing myself, staying up. It was
Well,
it was shocking.
hopefully we don't have the same repeat of that this week. And I think at least we're at least getting 2 or 3 good fights. The undercard, I don't think looks particularly that. I mean, I'm kind of interested in this Sergey Spivak, Waldo Cortez Costa,
Yeah.
or Cortez Acosta fight. I think that could be interesting. Chaos Williams usually brings a decent scrap.
Did you say
Something too
Joshua
bad.
Van? Joshua Van, Bruno Silva. I want to see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another good. That should be a good fight. There's some all right scraps on the prelims. So let's fingers crossed it'll be a good one.
Yeah, I think so.
There
And
we
then after that is 317. Not immediately after, but in 3 fight nights after 2 more fight nights, then it's 317. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh,
Charles and Ilya.
I think Ilya's going to knock him out. I don't want it to happen, but I just think that's what he's going to do. I think Charles leaves his chin in a little bit too much, and I think that a lot of guys who are high level grapplers tend to leave themselves a little bit open because they've got that grappling threat, and I think Charles does that. If Oliveira can grab hold of Topuria, then we're going to find out how good his grappling really is. But I think he's going to get knocked out. I think that the old guard that we've watched and loved for the last few years, your Oliveira and your Poirier and your Gaethje, I think they're coming to the end. And unfortunately, these little fucking jumped up Spanish wankers are the next little generation, and we're just going to have to watch them beat all our heroes. And this is going to happen again.
I like Ilya. But Charles is my favorite fighter. He's so entertaining to watch, like win and lose. And the performances he put on against like Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, like I would have loved to seen him fight Khabib, because I think he like they both, well, Khabib obviously always looked unbeatable, but Charles just looked a threat on the ground, like the most submission wins, and you just thought that if he got taken down there, Khabib probably would have mauled him like he does to everybody. But I think like Ilya coming up a weight is an unknown, that's a question mark. I don't think he's that small. He's going to be a small lightweight. He is an inch taller than Volkanovski, and Volkanovski didn't look, completely out of place against Islam Makhachev, and he is a huge lightweight. So there's a few question marks over this, and I think like his price is just so big, Charles. And you're right. He does leave his chin out there, but you've seen against like Gaethje, if he got hit, or against Chandler, he just kind of like pulls guard, just like goes on the floor, recovers. They don't want to go to ground with him. But that was kind of similar to who did Ilya fight? That submission specialist. He's such an annoying fighter. Yeah, that's him, Ryan Hall. Well done.
The leg lock.
Yeah, mate, it is like, and Joe Rogan was like, you don't want to go on the floor with this guy, and Ilya just went on the floor and just sparked him out. So whether he does that with Charles, that is going to be interesting. But I think like Charles is aggressive as well. He's got power in his hands, and he is like a big lightweight, like a tall, rangy,
he is
lightweight. But Ilya throws punches and bunches. It's a good matchup, and I don't think like people are giving Charles any chance, and I see that as an opportunity. I'm gonna bet Charles that fight.
I'm gonna be rooting for Charles 100%. It's just like I doubted Ilya against Volk. I doubted Ilya against Holloway, and both times he made me look like an idiot. And he did it. He looked really good, and I don't know. I've just got this feeling that we're going to get an Ilya Topuria, Paddy Pimblett title fight in about a year's time, and I just can't. like you say, 100%. Oliveira's submission threat. If you can turn it into that kind of fight, or if you can get him, but he is good on the ground as well. Like you've just said, I mean, Ryan Hall. I know we laugh about him and stuff, but he is a very, very good on the ground. Like he's a very good jiu-jitsu guy, and Ilya made him look pretty amateur. So I've got a feeling that I'm not saying that Ryan Hall is by any stretch anywhere near the same level as Charles Oliveira, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see the same sort of thing happen again.
Yeah, but that's what Charles did, something similar to Islam Makhachev, and he just dived on him and choked him out. Like he wasn't afraid to go on the ground with Charles, and he subbed him in like less than 30 seconds, I think. Just got him in that head and arm triangle, right? Head and arm choke.
Yep.
But like, there is another question mark over Ilya, and that is because he's a little bit like Tom, like a lightweight Tom. That he hasn't been to 5 rounds yet. I think it's like a very different because of his size. Usually they're a lot more capable of going longer distances because of like their fitness and their cardio. So I don't think it's going to be a threat, but we haven't. I don't think it's going to be a problem for Ilya, but we haven't seen it, and like it could be bad or it could be good. Don't know.
I mean, but if you remember the Ilya Joy Herbert fight, and I mean, Joy Herbert gets a lot of stick, and I don't think he gets the amount of respect that he deserves for how good he actually is. But he was close. He nearly dropped him.
He nearly took his head off. He became the legend killer.
Yeah. So, and that was, I mean, I'd probably consider Joy Herbert to be probably a top 25 lightweight. Like he's in that gap between 15 and 25 for me. I think he's quite steady.
Yeah.
And he caused Ilya problems. So that could very much play in Oliveira's favour. It's a very interesting fight, but I've just got this weird feeling that he is just gonna show us how good he is. I really have. I don't want him to, but that's where I think more.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, but looking at the odds, let me just bring it up. Ilya Topuria against Charles Oliveira. Yeah, he's closing. Well, he's 3-1, Charles. I mean, you might look stupid, but let's fucking go, Charles. I reckon. Saying that. Talking about pick.
What do you get on a Charles submission?
Millions to 1. You got to earn your rack of lamb, son. you got to beat Boss Bitch, haven't you?
You're doing well as well. She's got about 1,800 points, you know.
She's a champion. She is. She's a champion before we went live with the website. So when it was on a spreadsheet, she's a champ. Yeah, so she knows her onions. So if you beat her, there's a hoodie coming your way. So who are you going to pick for Silk Pyjamas?
So this week, I'm going to have. I think I'm going to take a Sean O'Malley knockout, and I'm probably going to use my knockout chip. I think that's what I'm going to put that on. I think
the wild card.
Knockout wild card rather. So I think I've got about just over 1,000. I didn't play last week, did I? Because the card was crap, but I just looked at the fights and was like, I'm just going to hold my nerve. But O'Malley at 303%. Double that up on a knockout. I think I'm going to go there. I'd love to say I was tempted by Juliana Pena, but I don't think that's going to happen. There's a reason that's 555. It's odds I've ever seen on Silk Pyjamas. Pretty close, isn't it?
It might be the biggest odds, yeah. I think there was bigger, but for the life of me, I can't remember now. I think I've seen like 600 in the underdog column before. But I'm going to go the same as you. I'm going to go O'Malley with my KO wildcard. You're not going to get a better opportunity. I mean, 303%, and with the KO wildcard is going to double. So
yeah,
why not? Try and get myself up there.
I've locked it in 3,000 points from 500 if O'Malley gets the KO.
Yeah.
I've got to go in, and then I think I'm going to have a cheeky little 100 on Kelvin Gastelum.
Ooh, I like it.
Got 615 points left. I think I'm gonna hold on to my points because you've got some good
I
cards
think
coming through. So
I think Bruno Silva is like a good bet. As much as I love Joshua Van and he is supremely talented, I don't think he's got that like knockout power, and Bruno Silva has. Like I don't
I
know.
mean,
That's like 416%. I'm gonna have 100 points on him. Fuck it.
you know what? As you've said that, I was pulling up his record, and I mean, a loss to Manuel Cap isn't a bad thing. Couple of decent wins, Cody Durden, fight of the night, performance of the night bonus as well. I'm gonna join you on that. I'm gonna jazz it up. I'm gonna have a little cheeky 100 on Bruno Silva.
Ooh, silk pajamas, friends. We're just following each other in, mate. We'll be joint top or joint bottom, more
Oh,
likely joint bottom.
and importantly, we've made our silk pajamas picks. Who we're gonna go for in our charity bet? We've got to win one of these at some point. We've
Oh
just
my
got to.
God. It's just getting embarrassing. And so I was just looking in. Ariana Lipski, she's good. She and like Kong Wang or Wang Kong. What? How would you say her name? Kong Wang, I think. She she's not a grappler, and Ariana Lipski's like a good technical Thai, you know, like Thai boxer. I think that's a good bet, man. But do we want the win? Do we want the
It's not
win?
a bad bet.
I said I was gonna bet Patchy Mix, but do you want to bet him? No, you choose, and then I'll choose.
Now I'm torn between picking something that gets us some money and picking something that's not going to get us any money.
Go,
So,
don't like, yeah. Let's.
tell you what, I'm going to go for Joe Pfeiffer because it's not that bad. He's not that much of a. I mean, he kind of is, isn't he? What are we getting on Pfeiffer?
Don't.
You know,
Yeah, it's fuck all. I reckon we're getting pretty desperate if we're going for like
yeah,
1.3
let's not go
chances.
for Pfeiffer. I thought it was
I
a bit closer than it was. I
I
think
think
it's because of how far apart the last one was.
I think Patchy Mix is your is the limit really.
Yeah. Let's go Patchy Mix. I'll go Patchy Mix.
Let's see what is Patchy Mix. Let's see. I think it's my turn to do it anyway. Um. Oh, he's 2-1 on. Let me see. I fancy lips. Do I go with her? She is gorgeous, mind. I'll go with Sergey Spivak.
You know what? That's not a bad shout at all there.
Yeah, I'll go with him. Come on, let's get some money.
Sergei Spivak, Patchy Mix. Let's
I'll
get it.
I'll get it on.
Let's finally get fighting for autism. A little bit of chord.
Good man. Right, I think we've covered a lot, haven't we? Any news from
We
Tom
have
Aspinall?
indeed. I have not seen anything as of yet.
Okay.
I think that's going to be something that he's going to do it to us again. You know.
It's a
Quickly just check.
massive.
So no, nothing. No news. No news. We're still waiting. that face just sums it up.
We're not gonna get out, are we?
We're not going to get it. We're going to get Aspinall gone.
Aspinall anyone at this point.
Yeah, I
Just
agree.
like it's just taking the absolute piss now. We got in November, so where are we? June. Okay, so say June, John Jones finally gets home from his holiday in Russia and Thailand. July, August, September, October. Oh, okay. Got a few months.
We've got a chance.
There's a chance.
We've
Are you
got a
telling me
chance.
there's a chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's all pray for it.
Fingers crossed. But and as usual, cracking chat, JP. Fingers crossed on the bets and the Silk Pyjamas picks because I need one of those hoodies, man. Gotta get my hands on one of them hoodies.
Yeah,
I've got
you're
to
in
beat the boss
competition
Mitch to get
now.
one.
She'll never let you forget if you lose to her as well. She's a mouthy bitch. Sorry, Yolanda.
Oh, pleasure as always. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to us. Let us know what your thoughts are as well in the comments and stuff. If you agree or you think we're talking absolute waffle, let us know by all means. And thanks for watching.